This is my cursed world. It was meant to be beautiful, peaceful. The BCG modpack was well put together, and one that I love. But I craved something more. What I have created is a monster. A world that punishes and frightens. I am going to defeat the enderdragon. I will complete every quest, and I will collect every Pokemon in the dex. Welcome to my first 30 days. I started off with a full day of climate clemency because I was afraid of freezing to death at spawn. I guess I didn't need that. I felt real lucky with my spawn point. Oh god, it's so dark. Ow. It was a nice climate, so I wasn't running around looking for warmth right off the bat. The fact that it was in the trees really helped too, for reasons you'll see later. I chose Charmander as my starter. Come on, Charmander, I got things to do, people to see. With all the pain and suffering I was going to be going through, I decided to make the starter shiny. You know, just a little bright star in this bleak, horrible environment that I've created. This is a good spot, actually. How lucky. I got to making tools and got wood to start a house because some of the stuff I added to this pack is just awful. And I knew if I didn't have something to hide in, I was going to be in big trouble real fast. Speaking of little shining stars, check these little guys out. Why are there so many crayfish? What? I started building my house. It was nothing to be proud of, just something to keep me safe for the night. I could worry about making it pretty later. For now, survival. It was about this point I realized the sun was getting dangerously close to the horizon. I was panicking, so I quickly finished up my house and ran inside. To be honest, it was good that I panicked. What is happening out there? Charmander was dead. And thus, I was alone in pitch black darkness. And I stood in silent horror. I couldn't talk. I couldn't make a peep. If I did, that stuff you hear outside, they'd hear me, and that wouldn't be good for me at all. I knew the zombies could break down doors, so I decided to place a block down in front of it. Then I crafted a table and made a slab so I could open the door and look out. Oh! Oh my god, that was so sudden. Frankly, I was terrified to go out there. Holy shit. I had no idea how many of those things were out there, and I really didn't want to die. But you know what? I went out anyway. Why this music? Why? Why? I just want to go outside. What is happening? Oh! Is it fine? Holy shit. So, you missed a lot. I forgot to hit record after I got up. I died to a skeleton, ran around for a while, got some copper. I put some torches up in my house. Yeah, it's bright in here now. Charmander's gonna die. I know he is. What the hell was that? My only Pokemon is dead too because I fought a Wooloo through a wall. Oh my god. It's worth mentioning, I can't regen health naturally. Food isn't gonna help me here. I need bandages, or I need a campfire that I have to light with flint and steel. And I needed those things fast. Jesus Christ. I started cooking copper when I noticed this guy wanted in my house real bad. Oh. Ah! What? What? Struck by lightning? How did that happen? What? I was in my house. I was safe. Apparently not even being surrounded by walls is enough. I genuinely don't even know what mod did that. Oh, I spawned in the tree. Oh, hey, look at that. I spawned in the trees. What did I tell you? What a great spawn. I decided to stay up there until the sun came up, seeing as how jumping down would pretty much be a guaranteed death. Oh, well, that's great. Fantastic, even. I'm so glad that that happened. I sat there for a long time, looking at the ruins of my little house, realizing that it wasn't going to be enough. I was worried that my chest had burnt, that what little I had was lost to this mystery lightning death. And I realized then that until I got better fortifications, underground was probably going to be my best bet. I didn't want to build into the earth like that, but what other choice did I have? Day 3. Death. So much death already. And what was that noise earlier? This mod pack is so terrifying. I didn't vet most of this, by the way. I made sure it worked, and that was it. I didn't even test it with sound. I wanted to be as unprepared as I could for all of this, and now I'm suffering for it. I desperately needed to rebuild my house, and it felt like everything was going terribly. But I managed to get my things and start rebuilding, and it was all thanks to this little guy. Oh, thank fuck, okay. Oh, what are you? No! It was at this point I was starting to feel like maybe this mod pack was too much. Maybe I added a little too much, and it wasn't gonna get any better. I wasn't gonna be able to get my footing and make any kind of progress whatsoever. But I managed to finish rebuilding my house, and I got to safety. Okay, maybe safety is a strong word. I started to dig. Underground had to be safer, right? If I put everything down there, then maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't have to worry about dying from lightning in my own house. I was so on edge. Even rebuilt, my house was in shambles, and now partially made of dirt. I had no idea when or if something was going to explode and break in. Even the chest scared me. I had a bunch of copper from earlier, so I crafted a helm and boots and got some Pokeballs. Then I went into the basement to take a moment to breathe. And then I came back upstairs. The door was broken. I hadn't even been down there that long. Are you kidding me? I wasn't up there. What were they getting to? I sat there and killed the zombies because at that point I kind of figured, why not? It was good that I did too, because one of them had a backpack. I realized I could sleep through the night, and I slapped that thing on the ground so damn fast. I realized in the morning that my backpack was short-lived. I went to pick it up, and it was just gone. Once again, I was feeling the strain of the pack. Maybe I'd installed something funky, and I've lost that tiny little bit of hope that I had gained from getting that backpack. I wasn't willing to give up, though. I knew that as difficult as the pack was, it was capable of providing me with plenty of power, too. I just needed to get far enough along to wield it. Oh, there I am with that stupid door again. I guess I didn't learn my lesson by this point. I ran around for a while and fought a bunch of Pokemon trying to get some levels for Charmander. I threw a few Pokeballs trying to catch a few Pokemon, and that didn't go super well for me, but I was trying. I made some Pokeballs and headed out to catch some random Pokemon just to bolster my team, and I felt a little bit better again. in hopes of getting the backpack to come back, figuring maybe it was just a graphical glitch or something. I restarted my game. No luck. It was fun for the 3 seconds I had it, and it would be missed. I went out and caught more pokes and evolved Charmander before fleeing home. I made more armor and finally crafted the canteen that I was going to need when I actually survived long enough to use it. I didn't feel safe, so I headed down into my bunker, if we can call it that. It was much quieter down there. Peaceful, almost. I started to make plans while I waited through the night before I realized I could be using that time to dig for iron. I didn't want to just free dig and end up creating all of these caverns and things that something could come in through and suddenly I'm dead and everything that I worked for is gone. So I ran back up to get some doors. I came back down and I realized the doors I grabbed were going to be useless since they could just break through them, and that I was going to have to go back upstairs to get slabs instead. The door was broken again. At this point I figured there might not be a point to putting it back up. Maybe once I had enough iron, I could craft an iron door, and that would actually hold. When I got back down, I dug through the night, but I didn't get that far. Eventually, I checked upstairs, and it was day 5. I killed some zombies at the door-shaped hole, then went outside to kill the rest. That was disappointing. Maybe having all of my pokes out at once wasn't the greatest idea. Fuck. Okay. With all of them dead and no way to revive them, I caught a few more and filled up my roster. I had literally forgotten at this point that I was actively keeping track of how many days it had been. I wrote in my notes like 5 minutes ago that it was day 5. It felt like day 10, but it was day 5. I felt like I had no idea what day it was, and I was starting to panic. I needed to get in gear protecting myself, and that panic was making it real hard to decide the best course of action. I finally filled my canteen and realized the ring catchers I had overlooked would be a really good idea, so I slapped a few of those down. Back down into the mine I went, nearly forgetting to block up the door before I headed down. That would have been a real fun surprise later, I'm sure. What is that? What the fuck? I'm not super great with Pokemon, so I don't know what that was, but it looked kinda crazy. Someone tell me in the comments, please. This noise stuff was really starting to stress me out. I went back upstairs to check the time, and I noticed something. Are they evolving? I felt so overwhelmed by this point that I just closed it up and decided to deal with that at a later date or not at all. But out of sight, out of mind. Done is done. I headed back down and mined until my axe broke. I was going to head outside, but it was still super dark, so I grabbed another axe and got back to it. I was running out of torches, which meant I might have to sit and stare at a wall for a while. I wasn't looking forward to time without distraction. The world was way too scary for that. Finally, it was the morning of day 6. As was becoming custom, I went to check outside. Oh. Oh, 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 oh. What was that thing? I don't know, but I did not want it after me. I dealt with it, then I found a hole with a bunch of zombies and creepers in it. My god. Oh. I had fallen into hell again. Death, death, and more death. So much death. I was tired of dying. I grabbed coal for torches, then started replacing blocks of my house with stone. It was ugly as sin, but I figured I was more interested in living than how pretty my house was just then. Pretty would have to wait. I prepared to start digging again, but I heard a new noise. The hell is that? The fuck is that? What was that? And why? Wait. Is that... my backpack! Oh, fuck yeah. Apparently, When you pick up the backpack, it goes right back onto your back. I had this the whole time. Without a second thought, I slapped that thing down and crawled right in. On the morning of day 7, curiosity took me, and I discovered what that new noise was. Okay. I was struggling to deal with it when I realized... Over here. Hey. 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 I remembered they could hear me. Y'all, I summoned them to my front door by calling to them. How cool is that? Cool. Finally free, I headed out to defeat a couple more pokes to start working on those quests. Ow. After getting my health halved by a skeleton, however, I decided it might be better to just focus on the iron for now. Ah, yes, a single piece of iron. Just what I needed. I made a healing room to hopefully help mitigate the overheating in the summer versus having it just in the middle of my space where it's always lit. And anyway, I made a room dedicated to this campfire. That campfire was going to save my life. And I wanted to put it in a separate room so that when summer rolls around, the heat is kind of more contained that way. I realized later that I'd need to probably move it further away from the center of my building, but the idea wasn't bad. Maybe I could add a little pool of water or something. I don't know. It worked for now, and that's what mattered. Afraid of things getting blown up or burnt or whatever, I moved everything down into the basement where it would be safer. Then I got back to mining again. Oh, look at that. I got a little friend in the mine. How cute. I remembered I had the backpack and I could sleep again, so I... never mind. I forgot I can't sleep while that guy is screaming. I dug a little more, and once things finally quieted down, I slept. I started digging again, but when I realized that would be a huge waste of a day, I decided to go out instead. We've got a friend in the mines, and now we've got a friend in the house. I headed out with the intention of defeating some Pokemon and working on those quests, but I got distracted pretty quick. I found some ruins and looted them, and got some wheat and carrots in the process. Then I saw the merchant stalls. Wool meant I could make bed and bandages, and I was so excited to loot it. With a little more exploring, I got more wheat and I headed home. I made bed and bread, and I finally had a respawn point that wasn't a mile away. I made some bandages, and I realized I could dye the extra wool I had white to make even more bandages. So I got to that real quick. Things were looking up. I was starting to feel pretty good. I slept in my new bed for the first time, then headed outside to find my rain catchers didn't seem to be working. I moved the empty ones, hoping the new spot might be better. I defeated a few pokes for my running shoes, and I felt a glimmer of hope. Slowly but surely, things were starting to come together. With a few more pokes defeated, I unlocked the healing machine and I retreated home to put it down. My last act of the day was to catch a golbat. I figured it might be helpful because it's got a fair health pool, and honestly, the more of that I can get, the better. My poor little guys were dying fast. On day 10, I unlocked the PC with a few more defeated pokes, and...
What are you doing out here, bud?
I was going to let him run around free, but I realized he might be useful later. So I kidnapped him and put him in my house. He'll be safe in the basement. Probably. I got a second Wooloo, figuring once I get the pasture block, I can throw them both in there somewhere and have infinite wool. I could technically do it with sheep too, but these guys are a lot easier to move around, and I had no idea where sheep even were. I even considered putting one of these guys in my party just so I always have wool on hand, but maybe I won't need to do that. We'll see. I was indecisive about digging for the night, but I did, and I ended up with iron. I was hitting a lot of stuff that required an iron pick, so I ran back to make one. Shortly after I got back down,
That was weird.
maybe I was just seeing stuff. I've been playing for about 3 hours at this point, and this pack was pretty high stress.
Oh, shit.
Okay, no, something was definitely going on. I was hesitant to go check it out, but I knew something had happened. I probably had a mess to clean up.
I guess it's daytime. Oh!
Okay. I don't know what's causing
Shit.
this, but every time it happened, it was a jab to the heart. Yet again, I needed to fix my house, my hovel, before nightfall.
Oh shit, it's gonna kill me. Please, but do help. Ah, god damn it.
The modpack was not going to go easy on me. I spent the day rebuilding and fortifying a little. Eventually, I was going to need to do more, maybe blackstone or even obsidian, but for now, this would have to do. I decided that I needed to find bamboo so I could make spikes. Maybe if I lined my house with them or even set up traps around the yard, it would help a lot and I wouldn't have this problem. But then again, I still don't know what was causing that? How can I prevent something that I don't understand? So much for that landscape. It was so pretty when I found it, and it was just getting destroyed the longer I was here. And it wasn't even directly my fault. Night hit, so I decided to go back for iron. After dealing with water for a while, I'm stubborn. I probably didn't need to do any of that. I decided to check if it was daytime. While I was up there, I threw my iron into the furnace and made my favorite weapon. Knowing how fast they could break, I made a second one right away, just in case. I'd been playing for a long time at this point, and I decided I needed a break to be human for a while. When I came back, I went down into the mine, and look, our friend is still here. We gotta figure out what to name this little guy. I noticed something weird when I got to the level I was digging at. Why is it green? That seems really concerning if you ask me. Very abnormal. With that distraction out of the way, I started digging again. Look at this, Promethium ore. It's not my favorite, but it is great for now. That regrowth trait gives items a slow regen, kind of like mending. And it's not half bad strength-wise. It's good stuff to be finding at this point. I started looking at the map and I noticed what looked like a village. That's something I would need to check out later. I figured it was about time I checked on daylight and... wow, I run fast in these shoes. Sure enough, the sun was up and I had no idea for how long. I think I was down there for a long time. I threw the Promethium in the smelter and headed out to beat up a few more unsuspecting Pokemon. It wasn't long at all before I was having to head home again. I kept thinking to myself I really needed to get the ingredients to make a clock. I needed to make a calendar too, but for that I was going to need quartz. And I was kind of terrified of the Nether. Not just because I had no idea if any new monsters would be there, but because of the heat. I was going to need a way to keep cool because water wasn't going to help me there. I grabbed the new ore from the smelter and made a third halberd. I hoped that with how sporadically I used it, it'd have time to regen between and I wouldn't have to worry about it breaking too fast. Plus, it just hit harder than the iron ones. I considered going to sleep, but decided against it, figuring it might be better to spend that time mining instead. Speaking of, I realized I could use that new ore to make a pickaxe. It's at diamond mining level 2, which meant not only would it regen while not being used, I could use it to get tougher materials too. I ended up mining for a while longer, but with nothing new to show for it, my ADD was starting to kick in. I was hearing some spooky sounds upstairs, so I headed up. Yeah, no thanks. Not for me. I caved and went to sleep. There were a bunch of weird noises upstairs when I woke up. Curiosity won out and...
Hello? Come over here. I think we might be okay.
Nothing. It was nothing. I have no idea what those noises were, but it was completely clear out there. Since it was the top of the morning, I decided to see what that village was all about. Excited as I was, I took off sprinting. Yeah. I need to remember that I can fall, and that falling will kill me. If gravity doesn't do it, then whatever monster's maw catches me will.
Oh! Oh, what is it? What is it? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I need to not linger in here. Holy hell.
Speaking of monsters, there were a lot in that forest.
Oh my god. These running shoes are saving my life.
Somehow, barely, I managed to get through to the other side.
Oh, battle. Far-fetched. It's the first time I've seen him.
Man, I was excited to find that little guy. I think at one point he was one of my favorites when I was a kid.
Look at you, buddy. Oh, I want you. I need you to be my friend.
And now a friend of mine uses them as one of their... That's a long tangent, but point being, he's cute, and I was happy to have him.
Oh shit, his level. Oh no. Oh, thank God, okay. It's like I am not prepared to lose all of my Pokemon for this guy.
I think the map got culled?
Where did that village go? Is it gone?
That village is... it's gone. What a shame, too, but it's alright. There'll be other villages. I was starting to get nervous. I didn't want to be out too long feeling as unprotected as I did. I had a lot of progress that I had to make before I truly felt strong enough to wander freely. Running through that forest again was terrifying and dangerous. I felt unprotected, and I was lost.
Shit. Oh, God! I don't know where I am. I go this way. The carrot is so cute, and I can't look at it. What is that? Oh, fuck. I'm out of run. Oh, no. Poor Charmander.
Charmander died for me. What a brave lad.
Oh, fuck.
He needs a name too, come to think of it.
Okay.
I got home safe, and it's thanks to him.
Oh, you idiot.
It was still daylight, and I felt like I was wasting time if I didn't make use of it.
Oh, what's that thing?
That thing was still out there, and by the time I got back inside, I was shaking because I was so spookened. I just wanted to go to bed at that point. Maybe it'd be gone in the morning.
Oh.
When I woke up, I ate a bunch of weird food again. See, every time I eat something new, it has the potential to raise my max health, and considering I can't regen health naturally, it's a huge deal. That extra health is going to be incredibly important later. I went upstairs, and to my dismay, that thing was still there.
Oh, it is. Can you hear it? Psst, 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 psst. Psst, 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 psst. There's another villager over there. And he's... Oh, I was gonna say he's friends with the guy, but I guess not. Where are they coming from? Oh, hi, Rickety. Should I save him? I should try to save him. No, you come out. Oh, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. And I got slime balls, nice. Okay, come on, buddy.
Not gonna lie, I was kinda hoping the thing would just despawn, but seeing another villager getting chased by it gave me motivation to actually go take care of it.
Gonna turn into a zombie, are you? Because that would be really unfortunate, actually. Oh, God. That hurt me. There you go. Okay, I got 2 villagers. That's good. Don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet, but I got them.
I threw the new villager down with the old one and headed right back out.
To get back to my murdering ways, I wanted to see if this would be beneficial to me. I don't know. I'm not really able to.
When I re-emerged, I saw something special.
Ditto. Smearl's so cute. Look at him.
With another new friend in my pocket, I went around defeating pokes until I unlocked the pasture block, which I figured would be a great source of wool for me.
Cool, I got the pasture block. Nice. Okay.
Excited for that, I headed back to our little bunker to start carving out an underground pasture room.
Oh, that thing is on the map again. Look at it. It's so weird. Very, very weird.
Oh, look at that, the weird poke again. Eventually, I'm gonna have to run out and see what that thing is. It looks strong, and I need strong. I spent the whole day 15 digging out the pasture. I found some aquarium ore in the process, which was pretty neat. I didn't know if I'd end up actually using it, but I had it now. I also wasn't sure if grass would actually...
Oh, buddy, why are you down here? Thank you.
No reason for that guy to be down here, in my way.
You are not helping.
I had no idea if grass would actually grow down here, or how to make it grow if it didn't, so I was kind of just hoping it'd work out. I wasn't about to do a dirt ladder or stairs leading down into it, because that's how you get ants, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean I can only sleep at night or during thunderstorms? Oh, that descends fast.
In the morning, there was scary stuff outside again, so I headed out to kill it.
What is that? Oh. What am I out here for? I don't even know.
To be honest, I had no plan for why I came out. I had no idea why I chose to do that, but here I was, outside. I figured since I was out there, might as well get wood, because I was running low on it anyway. I headed back to the ruins, too, in case I'd missed some loot, or... I don't know. I was just wandering, I guess. I was itchy from being underground for so long, and I just wanted to be outside. While I was out there, I almost ran headfirst into danger.
Oh.
Against my better judgment, I jumped in. Yeah, I should have seen that coming, honestly. I couldn't just leave my stuff, so I was kind of committed, and now I had to go back.
Iron boots.
I thought about grabbing the obsidian there, but it just would have taken too long to gather at that point, and I didn't have an immediate use for it, so I made a mental note of it, and hopefully I remember when I do need it.
I need to get out of here. Oh yeah, I really do.
I was worried it was gonna start getting dark, and I didn't want to have to panic sprint back home.
Come back. Down below at some point. But not right now. Fuck. Is this gonna kill me?
I tried to heal myself, but with the poison, it just
Might kill me.
it just wasn't enough.
Damn it.
Afraid, I ran back out to grab my stuff, and I sprinted back home. I emptied my inventory, ate some weird food, and went to bed. Day 17 was the day I decided to start properly catching Pokemon.
God, this tunnel just gets me. And it just rolls back up. Oh my god.
Part of my goal was to finish the dex after all, and I felt I was stable enough that catching extras at that point was fine. I was really starting to bond with my little guys.
Look at how sleepy he is. Oh, my little guy.
I finally made some shears, and just for the hell of it, I sheared my Wooloo.
My god. They're so cute. You guys really need some grass, though.
There was still no grass down there, so I was starting to doubt it would just grow on its own. I figured maybe if I added a little water, it might kickstart it. I made a bucket and I headed out. Alright, never mind. I was just gonna have to take care of that later. A bucket of water for my little Wooloo was not worth probably dying to a bunch of zombies and whatever else the game decided to spawn for me that night.
Is that it?
That was a lot easier than I was expecting. I wasn't sure if I felt relief or
I was
disappointment.
expecting so much more than that. I mean... works for me. Psst, 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 psst. Psst, 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 psst. Oh! Oh my god! It was horrifying. Oh my god!
Okay, yeah, that felt way too close for comfort. Let me remind you that those walls were 2 blocks thick, and that thing was... I was stressed and decided it was time to go be human again for a while. After my break, I loaded back into Minecraft and my heart was already pounding. I didn't want to get caught outside, far from relative safety, and end up with a horde. That said, I just had one, so I knew I had a few days before I had to start worrying about another one. I wanted to go explore while I could. I tried to catch a ghastly right outside my door and ended up killing it, but I saw a Sneasel in the distance and I got lucky with that one. Since I just injured my pokes, I stepped downstairs to throw them in the machine. Then I filled my water before finally heading out. I realized I probably should have made more bandages first, but I didn't want to delay my adventure any longer than I already had. I didn't get terribly far before I came across a go-go and decided I wanted it for some reason. It nuked half my team, and I wasted a bunch of balls on it, but I did get it in the end. At least Rookity evolved in the process. I ran for a while longer and threw my sleeping bag down in the open, figuring I'd be safe. Shortly after morning, I came upon a very foggy, spooky zone. I think it was cold, or maybe the weather just decided to be extra ominous. I found some tomatoes and grabbed them. I was a little excited about this because I was going to need those for when I got around to making my burgers. Speaking of, I was going to need to lure cows back and get them into the basement somehow. I had no idea how I was going to manage that. After a little more wandering, I came across something interesting. Look how cute these little guys are.
Oh.
found a beach with sheep on it for some reason and decided to murder them for their wool. Why I didn't shear them instead, I don't know. I had shears on me, so it wasn't like it wasn't an option. Bad decisions. I saw a camp and decided to check that out in case it had some good loot. I quickly chopped a single tree log to make a workbench, then made some much-needed bandages. If I had sheared those sheep, I could have made more bandages. Back on the beach, just look at these things.
Fuck.
I can't decide if they're cute or horrifying. Both, I guess. I kind of want one. I went back to the camp because I hadn't actually looted it yet. So much good stuff in there. The campfire was great too. I put a stone hood over it because I knew the rain would put it out faster and I wanted it to last. It was starting to get dark again, and at this point I realized something horrifying. I can't sleep when that thing, that horrible, awful thing, is chasing me. I was pretty sure that thing could one-shot me, and I didn't want to be stuck out in the middle of nowhere having to run all the way back from spawn to get my stuff. I was super unprepared. I needed better armor and weapons, and I needed to actually plan for a journey instead of just yeeting into the horizon like I had done. I ran home as fast as my little legs could carry me. When I woke up on day 20, I realized the part of the river that got exploded a while back was really bothering me to look at. I grabbed my bucket and I fixed it up. Then I brought water down to the pasture room. I still wasn't sure how to get grass to grow down there, but I figured the water might help. When I headed back out for the second bucket, I ran into a bit of trouble. I got home safe, added that second bucket of water to the pool, and I realized something. The Wooloo had regrown their wool. I was relieved. I wouldn't need the grass. Maybe they were on a timer? Some of my stress washed away with those buckets of water. While I was down there, I grabbed their new wool, then I headed up and found a weird bottle of honey in my chest. I drank it without a second thought. After making a ton of torches, I was prepared to head into the mine again. I thought. Nothing like getting halfway down and realizing you only have one stone pickaxe left. I was going to mine for iron, but I realized I should go deeper than that. Orichalcum and adamantium were both much rarer, and I could get iron along the way, so I began to dig deeper. As luck would have it, I found more promethium pretty quick. I took that as a sign that maybe I should make some armor with it. A little further, and I came across a cave. There was some spooky stuff in there. I killed some things and debated exploring, but with all that promethium in my bag, I really wanted to make that chest piece.
Come here.
Back upstairs, I threw that ore into the toaster. While I waited, I made a cutting board and chopped up some leather so I could make a wallet to hold my emeralds. At some point, I was going to get a little shop to spend them all at, and that wallet was going to give me interest. The sooner I had that thing, the better. The ore was done, and I felt pretty good about putting that new chest piece on. It looked pretty great, too.
What? The hell is happening up there?
Excuse me? Was I getting hit by lightning again somehow? Baffled, I made a couple lightning rods just in case. I didn't understand what was happening, but I figured the lightning rods couldn't hurt. I couldn't sleep with everything going on, and I didn't want to get lost in the mines and waste too much daylight, so I just waited out the rest of the night. Speaking of wasting daylight, I chose to move all of my food into a chest by the campfire after daybreak. Why I didn't do that while I was standing around, I don't know, but I was getting tired of looking for it, so I moved it. Organization, excellent. With that done, I ate some of my weird foods, then headed upstairs to see the damage from the night before. Fortunately, it looks like whatever that achievement was, it didn't leave any marks behind. No idea what that was all about, I was just glad things were chill. I decided to put my lightning rods on cute little pedestals outside my house.
Oh shit. It's not so bad. It's not so bad, it's fine.
I realized these things are probably scarier than they need to be. I think they hurt a lot, and they're horrifying to look at, but they're not too tough to kill, at least with my current gear. That's probably going to change in future videos. But for now, I was gaining some confidence in my ability, which meant I was just a little less scared. Just a little bit. I spent the rest of the day battling and capturing Pokemon. I really wanted to get Charmeleon to Charizard just so he could fly and help me out a little bit better. That and the shiny version of Charizard just looks sick. Day 22 was another day started battling Pokemon. It wasn't long before I came across my man Heatmore here. I realized he had 42 health, and I needed him in my party. Anything with a ton of health was going to be a boon later on. I got him, and I ran home to trade him out. Sadly, I decided the best Pokemon to trade him with would be Farfetch'd. I felt bad just keeping him in the PC though, so I threw both him and Ditto into the pasture. While I was down there, I noticed the Wooloo hadn't regained their wool. I realized maybe it had been reloading the game that gifted their wool back. If I wanted them to do it passively, I was probably gonna have to get Silk Touch to bring in some grass blocks. The grass wasn't going to turn on its own, apparently. I headed back out to continue beating up poor, unsuspecting Pokemon and stuffing them into tiny balls in my pocket. I also killed a pig because I really needed to start expanding my health bar. The more different food I ate, the higher my health would climb, something that was also going to be incredibly important later on. Back home, I prepped more food for that same reason. I remembered then that I could make a torch belt. It meant I would stand out to enemies, but at least it would light up the immediate area. This would benefit both me and you. Remember how dark and horribly pixelated it was earlier? I had to color correct it to bring up some of the tones because it was pitch black. Horrifying, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm still gonna struggle to see past that ring of light, but at least you guys will be able to see a little bit better and have more to look at than nothing, basically. I turned some rotten flesh into leather in the toaster and made the belt. Back into the mine I went. I didn't like how open this cave was. It felt super dangerous. So I kind of closed it up, and at least that way nothing could ambush me. I figured if I just did a bit, I'd be safe without forgetting the cave entirely. Apparently, closing it up like that didn't matter.
Again?
I panicked. I closed up the hole and I rushed upstairs. I got upstairs and I had a bunch of crawdads in my house. No idea how they got there, but I wasn't upset about it. They're good little guys. I couldn't sleep because it was already daytime, so I went to check in on my pasture instead. I'd heard one of my Pokemon return earlier, but I wasn't sure which it was. Turns out, a Ditto had drowned itself. I was gonna have to do something about that so it wouldn't happen again. What with all the lightning, I went outside to check for damage. Why was I getting struck by lightning so much? What was causing that, and how could I prevent it? Obviously, the rods didn't help at all. If anyone knows, please let me know so I can figure out how to deal with that. Charmeleon was really close to evolving, so I got back to smacking pokes again. Sick. After admiring my new friend for a while, I headed home. I ate more weird food, then opened this plushie box I got. What better place to put the cow than in the pasture? Turns out I was right. Everyone loved it. I grabbed the Wooloo egg from the pasture block so it could hatch, then decided what I wanted to do with that water. I liked the idea of water in the pasture, even if it was all dirt, but I needed to prevent that drowning. I ended up grabbing stone slabs and throwing them into the bottom of it. It still looked alright, and I was happy enough with it for now. With the OSHA violation taken care of, I revived Ditto and threw it back into the pasture. Day 24. More digging. I found some Kyber ore, which would hopefully come in handy later, and a pit that I definitely didn't want to be a part of. Day 25 was exciting.
What? Hello?
There was an Aerodactyl on the map. I didn't even think those could spawn. I thought you could only get them through fossils, so I was very excited to see it just chilling. I needed him. For a while, I dug, desperately trying to find this guy, battling my ADD the entire time. I found adamantium and promethium, which was great, but I really didn't need the distractions just then. When I finally came across him, it was glorious.
Look at him.
The area he was in didn't feel safe at all, and I didn't want to hit him in the process of trying to protect myself. If I fought him, there was a chance I'd either kill him or my own pokes would be wiped and I'd be in trouble. I threw out poke and carefully hit the immediate dangers until I felt safe enough to approach.
Look at him, he's sleeping.
Then proceeded to throw balls at the dactyl till I finally convinced him into my pocket. With that excitement out of the way, I looked around the immediate vicinity a bit. I still felt very unprotected, and I could hardly see. I didn't think running into this place just that moment was a good idea. I could see stuff I wanted, though, so I grabbed what I could and made a mental note to come back when I felt better about my gear. Plus, I really wanted to get that Aerodactyl in my party. On my way back, I found Diamond. Then I proceeded to get lost for way too long. Eventually, I did manage to find my way out. I healed up my pokes, then sat by the fire for a while, eating my weird food. Then I took a look at what I could make for gear. I had enough promethium to make boots, but I figured it'd be better to hold on to it until I could make the pants. It felt like a waste to use it just because I had the mats to make it. In the morning, I took Aerodactyl outside to look at him. What a beaut. I'd give him some good pats if I could.
Hello, buddy. Oh my god, I wish I could ride you. It'd be so great.
I was thinking about what I needed material-wise, and string was high on my list. My current supply was coming from the low influx of spiders. If I wanted something steadier, I was gonna have to get flax or cattails.
You scared me, bud.
It was going to take me a while to get used to this guy just popping up in my line of sight. Instead of looking at the map to see what was in my immediate surroundings, I thought there was a swamp biome nearby, so I just ran in that direction. I didn't find cattails or flax, but I did find
Village.
a village. Of course, I went through and looted it. There wasn't a whole lot, but I grabbed my very first waypoint. It wasn't too far from home either, which was going to come in handy until I could make a waypoint of my own. I found a big root in a tower, which I could have set up to grow in my basement, but instead I threw it in a box and forgot about it instead. One of the last buildings I came across there was a chef building. There was a ton of food, but I couldn't pick it up, so I just need to remember to come back when I'm hungry to eat those. In the interest of getting home ASAP, I crossed the river. I was a little worried about it being dangerous, but it turned out to be alright. After a bit of cooking and a snack, I went to bed. Upon awaking on day 27, I realized I was up to level 24. I wrote in my notes, "Gee, I hope I don't die." I could feel the looming threat, and I needed to spend those levels as soon as possible. The only book I had was a cursed one. With nothing immediately to spend them on, I decided to fish. I made a rod and I headed out. Somehow, I got so used to the world being safe in the morning that I didn't prepare and I suffered for it.
Oh, fuck me, what is happening?
It really was like the game had read my notes. At least, it didn't come true. I ran all the way to the other side of my little area, just to remember I had a lake or a river or whatever literally right behind my house. I sprinted back and settled in for a ton of fishing. At the end of the day, I headed back downstairs to cook. I opened my crate for some goodies and completed some quests for even more. Look at that. Luck, much needed string, and a hat that I will never wear. That is going directly into a box to never be looked at again. I was about to go to bed, but the thing was back, so I decided to wander around and look at my Woolus Wooloo for a while until I could sleep. I woke up realizing I might be able to make the calendar. For whatever reason, I thought I needed quartz, but it turns out I didn't. I needed paper.
Might actually be able to make this.
So I stripped a bunch of logs and slapped the bark together on a workbench until I finally, on day 28, had a calendar. Never again would I wonder what day it was.
Yes. Hell yeah. Okay.
I stuck that directly into its slot before I headed up for more fishing.
Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Maybe I need to open this up. Pa 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 pa. Hello, come to me. I know you're out there. Hello? Is it out there? Oh, something is. Come here. Ow.
Oh, scratch that. Back down to the campfire for a bit, actually. I did end up spending the rest of the day fishing, and I got this neat hook from a crate. It increases daytime fishing speed. The trick now is to not forget that I have it. That is going to come in handy. Yet again, I checked on my wooloos. They were still barren, but I put my new wooloo out and I was able to trim him. I'd expected another wooloo egg on the block, but it turned out to be a farfetched. I suppose that's what I get for throwing fetch in there with a ditto, so I can't really complain. For my last 2 days of the month, I decided that I wanted to try to get orichalcum. I wanted something to really mark the end of the first video, to kind of celebrate our accomplishments and set myself up for next month. I had to dig a bit further down and wasn't paying attention to my height.
Whoops.
I needed to be about -32, which was the best level to get adamantium, which I also needed a lot of, and I dug too far, so back up we go. Unfortunately, I didn't get any orichalcum that day, but I did find diamond.
Oh, hello.
And more diamond.
Oh.
And more diamond.
More diamond.
I realized I'd been forgetting to place torches thanks to my belt, so I had to go back and fix that. I really didn't need something horrifying spawning behind me. I don't know why that thing was glowing, but clearly something was over there that was probably dangerous, and I doubted I'd live through it. I also didn't like that something was glowing to indicate where it was. I'd seen this a few times now, and as I'm writing the script, I had looked up a fix for it, so I'm hoping moving forward that won't be an issue anymore. On the morning of day 30, I was still in the mine. I had a bunch of diamond, like 18 or something. No, it wasn't orichalcum, but it was a hell of a lot better than the copper I was wearing. I headed back up figuring I could make a bit of armor and then go out and find some creatures to kill. I also made a grinder. I threw that down with an anvil so I could pull the enchantment from the old boots to put on my promethium chest. I was real short on enchants, but that protection 2 was a good little bonus to start with. I was feeling pretty damn good at this point. I was pretty well protected, and I had a decent weapon, and I wanted to know how strong I was. The sun was setting, and I was out in the woods.
Just... What is that? Are you?
I don't know what that thing was. I didn't get close enough to see the name.
You're cute.
But he's pretty cute. Like a little tree enderman.
Oh god, it actually scared me. Oh god.
When darkness was finally setting, I once again felt a deep fear of that thing. I didn't want to be stuck out there because I still wasn't sure if I could get one shot or not.
God, there's that thing I forgot about. I always forget about that thing. I don't want to be out here with it.
I scurried home with my tail tucked between my legs, locked myself in, and waited.
kind of want it to come. I want it to come so I can try to kill it. Come to me, thing, creepy thing. I hear something. Oh. I think it's just zombies. Come to me, friends.
I'd figured the night would be busy, especially if I sat there and made noise, literally calling to the monsters outside. Alas, it was quiet. The night that I wanted to have a lot happen was quiet.
Man, it's so quiet. Why is it so quiet out there? I don't understand. Hello? 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 Is day 30 gonna be super duper quiet? Oh, I think it might be.
I had settled in and accepted.
There we go. Come to me, buddy. Want to stab you. Come. Yeah, come get me. Come get me. Come on. Psst. Come. Yes! Oh god, you are so terrifying. I can't hit it from here, though. Oh. Maybe. Can I not hit it at all? Where's your hitbox, my man? Oh, I did it! I think.
I don't think I killed it. Not really, but
It's not there anymore.
I did learn that it's really hard to hit.
Did I do it? Interesting. Oh, good. Hello. Oh, that was unexpected.
The beginning of this month had me tempted to quit, to be honest. But by the end, I was already feeling like things could be harder. With that in mind, the coming months are going to become increasingly more difficult. Harder, more frequent hordes, ramped up difficulties on monsters, more spawns. Anything I can find to make sure I suffer. In the meantime, please send me your suggestions for names. I need a lot of them. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.